All right. This video, I wanted to make a little intro here, and it has to do with a video I made about the Big Bang Theory. All right, and the Big Bang Theory is just that. It's a theory, and it's very painful to watch all of these other theories that are based on the Big Bang or inflationary universe theory. And the whole idea is that at one point, before the universe existed, there was an infinitesimally small, the size of a pea. You know, there's different theories as to how big this object, whatever it was, burning at just unbelievable temperatures, exploded. Right, Big Bang, and everything we see in the visible universe is a result of that. And the entire concept of a Big Bang implies that there was an explosion that blasted everything out in different directions. Right, galaxies, stellar nurseries, right? All visible matter that we see in the universe. But if the accelerating universe, the idea that everything is flying apart, is disproven at a fundamental level, then the entire idea of the Big Bang goes away. And then when they keep talking about string theory and dark matter and dark energy, all of that just becomes nonsensical bullshit. All right? They're just trying to sell books. It's like chicken soup for the soul applied to Brian Greene and the Elegant Universe. Okay? It's a great idea to come up with a theory that can't be proven for 20 years, but you can sell a lot of books in the meantime, right? You can host all kinds of speaking engagements and shit like that, right? But when it comes to the Big Bang, the actual core theory that all these other theories are stacked upon, there really is no evidence for it at all. So this is the way I try to explain it. And like I said, I'm going to go into a video, 4-part video. Videos, and I want to talk about the 4 pillars of the Big Bang Theory. And the whole idea is that if the Big Bang Theory were a table and you knock out one of the legs or pillars, the entire table falls on the ground. So I'm going to knock out all the legs, or at the very least, give one to question the merits of the Big Bang Theory at its core. And I'm going to do that in a 4-part video series. But I just wanted to do this real quick intro about the Big Bang Theory and just try to explain why I feel that the Big Bang Theory has proliferated to such an extent in the scientific orthodoxy, right, with the mainstream science. And I would only explain it as time scale, okay? And what I mean by that is humans are trapped in time scale, meaning we are linear thinkers by virtue of the fact that we are mortal. And let me explain what I mean. You've got fruit flies, right? They have their own time scale. You got elephants. They have their own time scale. Blue whales have their own time scale. Mosquitoes. And each one of those organisms I just described has their own time scale, which is based roughly on their expected lifespan, how long they're going to be around. They're born, they live, they die, right? And we as humans have our own time scale. And as we grow up, right, and we witness more people being born and other people dying, then we know that as mortals, we are born, we live, and we die, right? And that's just the way it is. So as a result of our time scale, how we observe the physical world, humans can't help but apply this model to the universe itself. So they say, okay, well, the universe must have had a beginning. It had to have begun somewhere, and eventually it's going to end, right? But when you scale up to the unfathomable vastness of the universe itself, then you actually get to a point where time simply doesn't apply, at least the human concept of time, okay? Time is really just nature's way of separating events from one another. Okay, it's already been proven that this old ideology about time being the arrow of time flowing directly into the future is simply not true. Okay, in order for the present to exist at all, the past and the future must exist simultaneous. All right, it's a web. And it's actually more, time has to be seen more as coming in chunks or bits of information, right? Actual events versus this constant stream into the future, okay? So time comes in chunks and is really just nature's way of separating one event from another. Other than that, it doesn't really have any meaning. It's just a great way for humans to organize their day, right? The Earth goes around the sun 365. We throw in an hour every 4 years and keep the clock rotating. Okay, it's a lot easier to say, meet me at Starbucks at 4:30 than to say, meet me at Starbucks when the shadow of the bush hits the third tile on the sidewalk. Okay, so that's how it works. Is humans use time to keep our lives organized. Okay, but when you scale up to the large scale spectrum of the universe, time simply doesn't apply, at least our understanding of time. And so I think that is the problem with the Big Bang Theory, is that humans, by default, because we are mortal, are pattern recognition filters. So we project out our belief that the universe must have had a beginning and eventually it must have some kind of end, when that's not necessarily true. And I think therein is where the Big Bang Theory, gets its grounding in the basic human idea that something has a beginning, a middle, and an end. When we actually don't know if that's true. We know that's true for us. We know that's true for human beings, but we don't know that about the universe. And it's very arrogant for humans to assume, even though we don't know exactly how the sun works, we don't know exactly the Earth's construction, right? There are theories, right? There's a basic theory about how the Earth is formed. We haven't actually explored 90% of the bottom of the Earth's oceans. And you're telling me that these humans in their supreme intellect can tell me that how the entire universe that we see out in the sky at night sprang into existence? I mean, is that not the epitome of arrogance? And I just can't, it's just really hard to watch when I see these intelligent, qualified individuals, scientists, physicists, astrophysicists, sitting on these science shows and news interviews, and they state the Big Bang as it actually occurred, as if it's a fact, when there is actually no evidence whatsoever to support it. So I'm going to make a series of videos and break down what I like to call the 4 pillars of the Big Bang Theory, and one by one. And there are a lot of holes in the Big Bang Theory, okay? But I'm just going to keep it to 4 specific points because they're rather simple to understand. And I'm going to make those in a 4-part video series and just one by one break those down and try to explain them in a layman's perspective. Very interesting stuff. But the point is to challenge all paradigms where you see that there's obviously a problem. Where, you're like, you go, hey, maybe that's not necessarily true. Just because everybody says it doesn't mean it's true. And the Big Bang to me is just like it's unbelievable to watch this shit. And they must be making a lot of money, pushing their theories. String theory is bullshit. There is no such thing as dark matter. There is no dark energy. These are all theories based on the assumption, right, that the Big Bang happened in the first place. And there's no evidence for that at the core. I'll break it down for you. Check it out.